So this is one way of learning technique to accompany yourself. In most arrangements you find on the internet are using one of these left-hand positions to accompany. There are three basic left-hand positions. One is the open position. Well, first you have to know that a chord is made up of a root note, a third note, and a fifth note. 1, 2, 3, third, 3, 4, 5, fifth. So a chord is made up of three. Now we're taking C major chord because it's the easiest chord in piano, and open position means you're playing the root note, the fifth note with the number 2, and then a thumb on the double of the root note, which is the open position. You can also play very open position, that's my nickname for it, the root, the fifth, and the third up here. Now the danger of that is to not try to keep your fingers extended and be tense, right? So release the finger you're not using, releasing the pinky, and you go up there. Now if you're crossing over or something, then you have to release that 3 as well. And then the crossover is often you could play the octave, the same note, and cross over with a finger onto a note of your chord, which is E, because it's obviously easier than crossing over to the G. So those are the three basic: the open position, a very open position, where you have all three notes of your chord, the root, the third being last, the fifth in the middle. Then the crossover, there are many different crossover possible, right? But basically you're crossing something over your thumb, so you have to have a thumb. So if you have the same chord, let's say C over 2 bars, then you could combine and just do open, crossover, and then come back. If you're in 3/4, if you are in 4/4, you might want to fill it out. So instead of just the root fifth note, root, you are actually playing the third. Usually most books would call that chord to the octaves, because this is your main chord. You're doubling whatever's at the bottom at the octave. Now if you were starting on first inversion, and see that video for what inversion is, you can also double the bottom. And second inversion, you can also double, second inversion, double the note at the bottom. Those are called chords to the octave, and I would recommend that you practice them up and down each day. But anyways, to accompany, you can play them one note at a time. So that's the first bar is your chord to the octave. Again, I recommend you don't hold on to the fingers and have your hand open like this all the time, because it's very tense. Look at your forearm right now. Then you cross over, and then since you have 3 more beats, you're going down, back down. So that's just one option. Of course, you could go cross over, and then you can decide to do fifth and then third instead of fifth and then third, fifth, and then root. You could do that too, but then know that it's 1, 2, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. I would only that if I'm not repeating the C chord, because then if not, then you're repeating the C. It's never too good to repeat 2 C's in a row. If you're changing chord, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. You could do that. So all depends on how many beats you have. So that's why you could accompany a melody by just looking at the chord symbols and not have to have everything written out for you in the left hand. Now, more theory. You could use a passing tone. A passing tone is a note that does not belong in your chord, and it's passing through, like this D here, because it's a step up. So whenever you have a step, this note does not belong in your chord. It could also be stepping down, but it's just passing through some steps. That's a passing tone. So you can combine that and do open position and passing through that passing tone, labeled as such under there, the word passing tone. Oops. And then continue up and continue up with a crossover. 2 notes. So And I do that in one pedal just because we have so many notes inside your chord that this D doesn't really bother it too much. Okay, so that's passing tone. And if you were in 3/4 instead, then you could go the same. I went back down from E to C. But I could also do, go back all the way up from E to G, like. So those are all options, and of course, once you understand that, you could do it for the other chords. Oh, the last one, the very open position, if you don't want to have the passing tone, you just repeat. As long as you're in 3/4, right? So you just kind of have to know to count your beats if you're in 4/4. So similarly, you could do the same exact thing for your G chord. And again, on this page, you could see that the notes are all labeled for you. So open position, very open position, crossing over position. That's the basic. And if you have two G chord over 2 bars, you can cross over and uncross. If you have it in 4/4, then you can cross over and go back down. And that's 2 bars of the same chord. It wouldn't work so well. It would work for chord to the octave, and then let's say you have to go back to F major, then you would do F chord to the octave if you don't have 2 bars of G in a row. And if you still have 2 bars of G in a row and you want to use passing tone, here it is. So basically it's just a transposition of what I explained before.